This will be great to really get part of it. So we're going to be okay. So we are live. Okay. Well, hi everybody. Welcome to another edition of Phoenix on the South End. Well, we had this great conversation going, and we really can't wait to share it with all of you. So those that are on Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube. Check in with us. We've got some really great news regarding how to use your credit card, debit card, and some of the things that are happening. Apparently, starting today, is going to make a big difference on your banking. So stay tuned. We meet every week. We always share something that our members really will benefit from, and anything that happens regarding scamming or just different things that are going on. We always like to share it with our members, and if you're online, you have the benefit of getting a little bit of that tidbit. If you have a business and you want to be able to meet face to face with people that are buying, or the people that can send you referrals, Phoenix is the place to come. This is where you can really do that like, trust, and start to buy things. It is all a matter of trust and all a matter of knowing what you do. And if you're good at what you do, then chances are people will really like it and then will want to refer other people to you. All right. So just to give you a little tidbit of how Phoenix is doing overall, we've got some pretty good stats. We're about halfway here. We're into the July the 3rd today. This is our hub, pbex.ca, pbex.ca. And as you can see, we have our member of the week, Jacqueline Richards. She's our mortgage honey. She takes care of mortgages, realignments with your finances and stuff. And so she's a great person to know if you want to get things done on a financial perspective. We have 4 basic chapters. We have our Monday group, which is our Bell's Corners group here in Ottawa. It's our West End sort of group. We have Wednesday and Thursday. And if you are a visitor, just go to our site, press one of these red buttons, and the Zoom is already embedded inside the button. So you don't have to remember anything or whatever. It's also very handy if you have a brand new computer and you're just sort of getting the all the savings of the passwords and everything in, that it's a good place to come. So this will direct you right to our Zoom meeting every week. We also have an after hours meeting where we get together as a mastermind, and we talk about businesses in general. We try to find out what your goals are for the year. We break it down by the month, and each month that we meet, and we meet in the evening. So this is why they call it after hours. So this way, if you're really busy during the day and you just can't take the time between 8 and 9 in the morning. I mean, some businesses are like that, where you got to be on the job site at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And bless those workers that are doing that. They're keeping this economy and everything running. And you know, the world doesn't survive by a 9 to 5. And thank God we have people that put in those extra hours to keep us all safe, to keep us all so we have convenience. Especially in the construction industry, my hat goes off to you guys. What you do is very, very essential for our livelihood and everything. And of course, all the restaurants and all the people in the service businesses. So we really reach out to you guys. And if you want to get some extra connections, you can come in as a visitor just to check us out. All right. We have a couple of great things that happen on a regular basis. Our East End Trade Winds, a networking, which is headed by Bernie Franzgrote, happens every Tuesday at 8 a.m. The next one is next Tuesday, 8 a.m. basically. We have our Tuning In with Tony. It's a free meditation class that I have every week at 1:30. It's a Friday. We started that about 4 years ago, and it's still going strong. We're getting bigger all the time, and that is live. So that's on Facebook Live basically. So you don't need to remember anything, and the link is all there for that. The sound bathing, I have a sound bathing coming up on July the 30th. It is just it's a wonderful way to be able to find the inner peace inside of you. Terry Black has a pre-planning workshop coming up on July 3rd, which is today at 2 o'clock. So if you want some more information on that, click that button and it'll lead you right there. Penny Lee is one of our dancing motivator things, and she does her medicine is movement is medicine. Basically, when you move, you heal yourself. And next week, Penny Lee is also doing her Friends Friday potluck. It's a nice way for us to get together and so on. Our South End group, they meet in person, and that's happening in a few weeks. So we'll give you more information as we get closer to that. Well, as far as sales go, we got 127,000 and some change that we've accumulated over this year, just in shared referrals. We do about 250,000 roughly in terms of business for the year. So we're pretty much on track with referrals in that way. We've got 182 and counting. And that adds to the 4.9 million that we've accumulated over the last 9 years. This is our ninth year that Phoenix has been around. Over 7,700 referrals so far. So we like to keep track of that just so we can really get it to know what we are doing. And our charity that we've over the years have sponsored and supported many charities. And this year it's been the Canada Food Cupboard. It's a great bunch of people that got together 40 years ago. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. And God bless these people. They work hard. They make sure that the community so we're having some hard times in some places, and it just seems that there's more and more demand for food and for clothing. They do a little bit of clothing at periodic times, but yeah, it's a great bunch of people that are here in the Canada. We have over 45,000 that we've accumulated over our charity since 2016, and we're going to be adding more to that this year as the golf starts to get going in September. On September the 4th, we have a charity golf that's coming up. And is there anything that you want to add with that, Bernie? He's really heading up this. He's doing a fantastic job on organizing this charity event for the Canada Food Cupboard. Anything you want to add there, Bernie?
Yeah, Tony. It's a simple. The game is going to be super simple. Best ball. So if you're not a golfer and you're like a duffer, like, hey, how's it going? It's still okay. Or if you're a golfer, still okay because probably that shot's the one that's going to take you down the fairway. But it's meant to be having fun. A foursome, $88 a head gets you a cart, gets you a ride, gets you a fun time. So we're looking for sponsors as well as we are looking for golfers. So September 4th, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. So should be kind of cooler by then. We won't have to worry about losing weight just standing there and smiling in the sun. Over to you, Tony.
That's so true, Bertie. It's so awesome. And those that want more information about Phoenix and everything, there's our QR code and there's our link. Lots of information there for you. Okay, so that's how we do things. That's how we roll in things. So we had a quick conversation this morning, and Eric Perrin, we regard him as a wealth of knowledge. He's really connected in the community. He's just this incredible person that is informed and everything, and he wants to share something with you regarding your credit cards and things like that. All right, Eric, go ahead, my friend.
Quite the intro. Thank you. So, all right. So yeah, so we went over a few things. So in essence, what it is that the skimmers and scammers of your debit card, credit card, whether it be Visa, MasterCard, is getting worse and worse. So what they're doing is they're doing various ways of skimming your personal information, your security codes, your pass keys, and everything else. So they're doing it as much as you go to any store. Doesn't even matter what the store is. Could be a grocery store, could be a Walmart, could be a gas station, could be a convenience store. It literally can be at any store. And what's happening is that they are installing skimmers, which are essentially a digital reader that goes on top of any machine that you tap your card on or that you slide your card in magnetically with the magnetic strip and that little computer chip. So what's happening is you will not see it because the way they've developed it, it's not just some guy out of his garage that's doing it. It's organized crime, and they're making these skimmers look exactly like the keypads and the skimmers, the tap areas of the machines that you're going and using in a retail space. So you'll never know of it. The only way to find out is to literally tag and pull on the machine a little bit and see if there's any wiggle room. And if there is wiggle room, you'll see that there was probably a two-way tape that was used to put it on. It literally looks like the same machine. Anyway, having said that, what they can do is that when you tap, it's usually about $250 is the maximum amount, but when you tap with your debit card, they can then take all of the information from your debit card. Your transaction will still go through as normal because that information still continues for the purchase, but they have now skimmed your information. And so then what happens is that they install little cameras, and then that camera is set up they can be set up at an ATM machine, just so you know, like an ATM machine has these skimmers as well. So don't think that every ATM machine is working perfectly as well. They'll install a small little camera, and that camera will then detect and look at what your PIN code is to follow your fingers. So, having said that, now they have your PIN. Now they have skimmed all the information of your card. At the end of the day, they just take this little skimmer away with the two-way tape or a magnet. They take it away, they put it in their computer system, and now they have 100, 200, 300 cards. They have the video, and then now they completely will be able to get in and replicate your card, and then they'll go use it and make a whole bunch of different cards, and then people will go out and spend that money. So, what's the way around it? So the way around it is first and foremost, never ever ever use your Interact card for anything whatsoever. Whether it's putting it into a machine or it's tapping a machine, just try to never use it because that's the easiest way for them to get your actual cash because they can then create a false card, even a white card where nobody sees it, go to an ATM, punch in your passcode, and now they're into your accounts and they can withdraw however much money your maximum is for that day. So you got to be super careful about that. So what's the next level of defense? Now the Interact card, you can use it, go into a bank if you want, or go to your bank. Preferably, if you're an RBC client, go to an RBC ATM. That way the security is just a little bit elevated. And then you're touching the ATM. You're touching it and physically seeing, is this scanner, is there anything where I'm putting my card in movable? Is it flexible? Because if it is, then chances are it's been glued on, magnetic on, or whatever. If it's solid, then you know it's good to go and you go in and you use it. So the next thing is when you're purchasing things, if you use your Interact, there's really not much that a bank is going to do for you in terms of recouping your money if there's been money stolen off your Interact card. You're kind of on your own there. So the next line of defense for you is to use your Visa or your MasterCard. So at least if you use that and there's been a fraudulent charge of any amount, usually the maximum that the Visa or MasterCard is going to charge you, if they're going to charge you anything at all, is $200. So Interact, you could be out thousands of dollars. With Visa, you're out $200. So your best bet is to use Visa. Now, if you tap and you use your PIN and all that kind of stuff and it's been fraudulently used, then your maximum is still only your $200. But in order to get rid of all of that nonsense, what you want to do is you want to use either Apple Pay or you want to use Google Pay. And so for those that don't use it, on your phones, your smartphones will all have a wallet. I use Apple, so I'll talk about Apple specifically. So Apple Wallet has their own wallet, and it's digital. And what you do with that is that you put in your Interact card, you can put in your Visa card, and you can put in your MasterCard. Unfortunately, sometimes on some cards, they will not be allowed in the Apple Wallet. But having said that, most of them are. So then what you do is if you're going to use the tap system, is you're now within the Apple ecosystem. So now I double click my power button, my wallet pops up. I can set up a default card if I want, whether it be my Interact card, my Visa card, my MasterCard, and you can put multiple cards in the wallet. And then when I go to purchase anything, whether it's a gas station tap or a tap at Walmart or a tap at Loblaws or a tap at LCBO, wherever it is, you're tapping and you're inside using the Apple Wallet to make the Apple Pay connection. So what's happening is you are saying to Apple Pay, I want to make this purchase. But what's happening, which we don't see, is in the background, all of that information stops with Apple. And then the vendor connects to Apple. So the vendor is getting authorization and payment directly from Apple. So if you tap on a fraudulent machine, all they're getting is Apple's authorization. They're not seeing that it's an Eric Perron purchase with a Visa with the number X amount and with the expiry whatever. They're not seeing that because only Apple gets to see that. And they obviously update their security on a, minute by minute basis whenever is needed. So that's the line of defense. Your first line of defense is go into Apple Pay, set up your cards, and that's where you're using your tap.
Oh,
And then after that, if you're not using Apple Pay or Google Pay, then always use your credit cards. And within Apple Pay, by the way, I only use my Visa or my MasterCard. Uh, that's just the first and foremost. And then from there, worst case, if you're not using that, then you can use your tap cards, but only use a credit card. Never tap with a debit card ever. A lot of people say, "Oh, you shouldn't use your credit card because if you're running a balance, you're going." Well, the smart thing is figure out a way to not carry a balance on the card that you are using for tap, right? Like you got to make sure that you're not carrying a balance because then it defeats all the purpose of doing all of this. So you got to pay off that balance at the end of the month. And that's it. Yeah, Sam.
Quick question. Just want to make sure the lingo here. Interact card, is that the same as a debit card? Are they the
Debit.
same thing?
Yeah, 100%. That's your debit card. Yeah, Interact is just the word that everybody uses as the connector for that card for all the systems, I guess. But it's called Interact. But yes, that is your debit
Debit card,
card.
bank card, whatever,
Yeah,
right?
leave your debit card in your wallet. And what you want to do, if you want to go a little bit higher in terms of, I wonder if I have it here. I don't have it here. If you want to go a little bit higher in terms of security, buy a wallet that has the RFID blocker or the RF blocker. I forget what it's called. And if it doesn't have that, it's basically like a Faraday pouch. If it doesn't have that, I ended up buying at a travel store a card, like a credit card, that blocks RFID signals. So I have that in my wallet, and that's beside my credit cards and my Interact card. So what happened for a while, and it's still happening, is they can actually take a briefcase, a purse, or whatever, brush up against you within about a foot, and they can actually register all of your cards directly onto their system in their bag. Now, they don't have your PIN number, but they have all of your credit card information. So if you have one of these, blocker wallets or blocker cards with your cards, then they cannot do that. Sam, I know you've talked about this as well. It's the same idea as, and I don't understand why more people don't do this, but the Faraday pouch is the same thing with your car keys, right? Like I bought a Faraday pouch for I think $14 on Amazon. I put my car key in it every day, like where I am right now. I'm not parking in a garage, I'm parked on the street. So at the end of the day, I put a club, the club, it's the metallic club that you put on your steering wheel. What's been happening, since we're on the thing of fraud here, what's been happening is people have been going into Honda Civics and they're stealing the airbags. So what I was doing is I was putting my bar across the top of my steering wheel so that people could easily see it. And then if they look at the car, they go, ah, it's got a club. I'm going to pass on to the next car to steal that one. But now what I'm doing is I'm putting it across the steering wheel, which covers the airbag. So now not only am I securing the potential car, but I'm securing my airbag unless they want to cut through the steering wheel, and there's always a way of getting around it. But what's happening is on the inside of the house is my key is in a Faraday pouch so that they can't relay from the key in the house to the car, start the car with the car starter and take off. So those are all things that we really need to be cognizant about because it's happening more and more and more and more all the time.
Yeah, Eric, I have a quick question. For those that have never used Google Pay or Apple Pay, how do they start this process to put the credit cards onto the Apple Pay system?
Yeah, so the easiest thing to do, honestly, is to just YouTube it. Everybody has got a YouTube video on how to do it. There's a couple of really good people out there that are always showing all the update videos and everything else. It's super simple. It's just an app. I mean, your Apple phone comes with it automatically built in. So you go to the Apple Pay, you hit the plus sign at the top right. You then actually take a picture with your camera on your phone of the front of the card. It reads all of the numbers. You flip it over, it reads all the back of it all. And then I think from there it will tell you, okay, well now you need to go sign into your bank account. You go do that, and then boom, the connection is made. So for me and then what you can do, by the way, is on an Apple phone, if you have two cards, you just hard press one of the cards, and then it'll make it bigger, after a couple of seconds, and then you drag that to the front of the pile. And then when you release it, that now becomes your default card. So you can do that and set up your debit card as your default card. You can click your MasterCard and set it up as your default, or you can do your Visa card or whatever as your default. And then every time you go to purchase something, you just double click your power button, hold it to your phone, your face recognition will see it, and it knows when you double click it when your phone is off that you're trying to get to your Apple Wallet, and the first card that'll pop up is your default card. And then once it's authorized, you just then bring that to the machine, tap the machine, and off you go. So that's the easiest way of doing it.
Now, when you normally have to put a four-digit PIN or tap, well, actually, with the tap, you
With
don't
tap,
need
you
a
don't,
PIN.
right? Because it's
Yeah,
under the 250.
you're right. You're right. I just answered my own question. You're right. Yeah, because when you're
But it's
tapping it,
important because even if you use your tap and now you've used your Interact card, now what you've essentially done is you've allowed somebody to get all of your Interact information. So they can then create a card which they can then tap 10 times in one day or whatever it is to your maximums. I think a lot of banks have a maximum of 2 grand for tapping. But they can do that one day, they can do that the next day, and the third day. So now they've tapped into $6,000, and then you go into your account to go see your balance one of those days, because who checks their balance every day? And then you're like, holy crap, where did my $6,000 go? And then you got to call the bank, and then it's fraud. Well, now we have to investigate it. Sorry that it was $6,000 of cash out of your credit card, your checking account, but the bank won't give you 6 grand overnight. They're going to have to investigate it and see and see and see, and you may actually never get that $6,000 back, just so you know.
yeah,
So
if it's Interact, yeah.
if you do it with your Visa card, then automatically they will only charge you a maximum of $200, and that $6,000 will be written off on the credit card, but you'll only be out $200. So never use your debit card like you leave it at home if you can, basically, like never use your debit card for anything ever,
Yeah, you were
ever.
mentioning the one time with that Abagnale guy that did a lot of fraud, and
Yeah,
that's what
so
he
watch
says he
him.
doesn't have it.
Yeah, so watch him. Frank Abagnale, he was the guy that the Catch Me If You Can movie was done about. I got lucky enough when he was filming the movie and whatever count he was working with Spielberg with the movie. I got to see him for an hour and a half here in Ottawa at a presentation, and he was basically telling us his life story. And yeah, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely insane. So
Yeah.
never use your debit card for absolutely anything. Doesn't matter what you think it's justified, it's just not. It's the worst case of fraud you can possibly have.
Okay. Thank you very
Yeah,
much,
Norm.
Eric. That
Sorry, I think
Yeah.
Norm had a question. What was that,
that
Norm?
was
Yeah,
that
so
was
I use my debit card, tap it and it says declined. And then I learned that you've got to put it into the machine. But then I was
No,
checking.
no, no, no. If you're tapping, it's gotta, if it's under 250, then it won't be declined. If it's over 250, it'll get declined right away.
No, no, even like $10, $20, it would say declined.
Well, that you might have it at the bank where it's set up that it will not tap.
No, it'll tap sometimes, so it depends on the store. It says decline, and then I'm talking to the store thing, says on my screen, it says insert card, but on the screen that I see, it just says declined.
Yeah,
Gee,
so
oh, I
to me
wondered.
right away, and I don't know what store you're going to, but to me that sounds hokey right away. So if you have a tap accessibility and the tap's not working, but they want you to put your card in,
Yeah, that's
then
something
you
wrong
have to
with
put
that.
in your PIN.
Yep.
That's like a no-brainer right there. That's like, no, oh, geez, our tap isn't working. Why don't you put your card in and put your PIN in too? Like to me, that's fraud right away. I wouldn't do it. I'd figure out another way of doing it. Or do not use your debit card and use your Visa card.
Yeah, now what about the TD uh, debit Visa? Is that just another form of
That is
interact?
essentially the
That's
same
that's a
way.
loadable
What it
card.
is, well, no, it's a little bit different. What it is the debit Visa card is a debit card. A debit card, like Sam mentioned earlier, runs through the Interact system. A Visa card runs through a credit card system, right? So when you have a debit card that's not Interact, it's debit Visa, it means that you have access to your debit account through the Visa system. Make sense? So
Yeah,
now
so
you're
a
still
debit
using a
Visa is
debit
fine.
card, but you're using it through a Visa system. And so the scary thing about that is you're still using your debit card. You're just using it through a different routing system, which is the Visa routing system versus the Interact routing system.
But it's
So
not a
you're
credit
still,
card, really.
it is absolutely not a credit card, is it? Is still, it's in the name. It's a debit card used through Visa. So
Okay,
if you go
so
to a
it's still not
website and
secure.
pardon me?
It's still not secure.
100% not secure.
God,
No,
no,
no.
no. I think
Always,
that's the
always,
worst.
always use your credit card. So find a credit card where you know that you have some to be able to use. You're getting a dividend back. Like I've got the Costco card as an example. So every purchase I make, I get 2% back, percent back on the gas that I buy from Costco. And then I get 2% on those purchases. So I use that. And then I also have a Visa card. I always have two cards because if one gets, and I've had with the Costco cards, which was MBNA before, now it's CIBC. They got anyway. There's something fraudulent about it, so they just boom, they cancel your card. I'm like, well, when am I going to get the next card? Can I, Oh, it's going to be about. It'll be sent to you in the mail. It'll take about 2 weeks. God forbid you're traveling somewhere, and it's like what? So I always have two cards now. I have one Visa, one MasterCard. That way, if MasterCard is down one day and I can use a Visa. Visa is down one day, I can use a MasterCard. It just keeps things super simple.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much, Eric. Very great,
Very welcome.
great insight there, guys. Okay. So I hope you were listening to that. And yeah, this is the kind of stuff that we always share to just to make sure that we are financially safe and that we have so many tips regarding all kinds of things. So yeah, Norma, tell you what, why don't you start us off and tell us a little bit about what you do and when your services are needed?
Well, um, my services are needed when something gets broken, i.e., broken window and somebody broke into the garage. So I change that window. Well, I get the quote in to see whether they go ahead with it. But they had an up and down slider. So they opened the window, slid the air conditioner in, right? And they had this small air conditioner, window air conditioner. Well, they just popped that air conditioner out, and then they crawled in the window and were able to open the front door, because the front door doesn't usually have a key on the inside, right? It just has a turnbuckle. So they were able to get in that. So I'm going to be putting a solid thermal paint in there. There's no going to be able to put an air conditioner. It's going to be solid. So that window will not open in any manner. The other thing is balance sashes where a window won't stay open. There's various kinds of sashes to hold that window up. Today I'm going to go order a couple of those sashes so that I can repair the window. And then the high performance glass making a big difference about what the comfort level is in the house. Especially now that it cuts out solar gain, so it's more useful in the summertime where you've got that heat. Like our house was fine because in that heat that was last week or the week before, because we have the high performance glass in our house. We just changed the glass, we didn't change the windows. So it stops the heat from coming through. And I did some extensive tests with Marilyn, right? I put the meter in front of the glass.
Marlin,
they read
Marlin.
That's what I
Marilyn
said.
Manson. Marilyn Manson's never going to be your client, buddy. I'm just telling you now.
I got
Marlin.
Marlon. So anyway, we did some tests. We took the meter, put it in front of the window, took a reading off the meter, put the 366 glass in front of the window and the meter, and got a difference of from 50 to 10. And then on the other side, it went from 10 to 0. So Marilyn's doing a whole bunch of engineering calculations about that. So that's what we're going to be promoting a lot is the high performance glass and the repairs of other things almost as an incidental, just because people know that we do that, right?
Okay.
So,
Right on, Norm.
okay, so that's
Okay.
the biggest thing. Make your house more comfortable summer and winter.
Okay, perfect. And any BAMs for last week?
No.
No. Okay. And over to Sam. What's shaking, Sam?
Thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a good Canada Day week. Our numbers are down, obviously, from people going away and saying, "Hey, I'm going to take the whole week off." So there we go. I think I got my logo on the chat finally.
There you go.
I've been trying that a long time. There's my logistics. Samsung's connected cars. Dash cameras are my main thing. I know Eric has one in his car because I installed it. And I know Tony's son Todd has one in his vehicle because I installed it. So if you're looking for something like that, I'm your man. Besides that, I do oil changes, brake jobs, minor repairs. And last week I had a referral from Terry Fraser, former Phoenix member, and a friend of his. This is a receptacle for a seatbelt. Used to have a red push button there. Used to. It was broken. And as Norm talks about things that are broken and fixes them, I did fix this for the vehicle. It was a Ford Escape, and wasn't the easiest thing because you have to take out a fair bit of the back seat to get to it. But got it done for them, and they took off for a holiday, I think out east is where they went. Let's see here. Besides that, BAMS wise, oh yes, Rail. I've talked to him about getting the computer robot on my website. Unfortunately, my son was not available to help him because he's my website guy, and I will get back to Rail and get him to put that on to try it out on my website. That's it for me. Samster's Connected Cars, today's mobile electronics without the cost of the vehicle, and a lot more.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Sam. Yeah, and also we've got you put a dash cam on my motorcycle as well down the road. You did that, so just thought I'd let you know. Okay,
I forgot about that.
and over to Bernie.
Well, folks, how are you doing today? It's interesting having these conversations. And you know what? One of the other things you got to be mindful of, pay attention to your statements, both your credit card and your checking account, right? And watching it. And so save one account and don't make it accessible either from the ATM or ABM machine. The other thing is if you see 1 cent transactions going back and forward, it's nominal. It's nothing, right? Yeah. I had a Costco card too. And all of a sudden I'm noticing these little 1 cent transactions for a pet charity in the UK. Uh, uh, I don't speak, it was in Ireland, and my Irish lilt wasn't coming out of me. So those are tells, right? And those are bad tells that somebody's got something on the go on you, right? So paying attention just on a regular basis, do that bank hygiene thing, if you can call it that. What do I do? Well, I talk to people, and I find out things. And Eric shared a really, you can't know it all, right? You can't know everything. So you surround yourself with people that are in the know of things. And so you'll understand things. You understand about like windows, you understand about brakes, you understand about banking, real estate too, or even gongs when Tony's talking about sound baths, right? Uh, that whole piece, it just adds, and that's why this is a great community to be inside the Phoenix space. But also at the same time, what I end up doing is I end up talking to people outside of the space, and I cross connect them. And sometimes, well, they're on the podcast, Knack for Business podcast. We're booking a lot of 6,000 downloads a week, easy, easy. And there's almost 80,000 since the end of March. So that's a lot of that's part of what we do is connecting and promoting. And at some point in time, we'll probably start charging for the podcast for people coming on, depending on the nature of the beast. However, that said, inside the Phoenix family, always open arms, always share the information, and no cost in that space. I'm going to stop rambling because I'm going to stop rambling. Otherwise, I'm going to put you to sleep, and you'll be calm, and then you'll hear the thunderstorm outside that's going on right now, at least here in Canada. And Tony, back to you, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bernie, and congratulations with your podcast. I know you've worked your ass off to get that going. There's been a nice learning curve going there, and you've done very well, sir. So good for you.
Thank you.
And over to Eric.
All right, bonjour tout le monde. Comment ça va? I am fully bilingual, and I bring it up because lately this summer I've had actually quite a lot of referrals from. Hey, Norm, can you mute there, buddy? So, yeah, so basically, I've had a lot of people that have reached out and said, "Oh, I need somebody bilingual. I need somebody who speaks French." When we end up doing real estate, or when I was in finance, same thing. Like a lot of people want to speak in French because that's their maternal language. They understand it the best. But then what happens is that in real estate, when we're moving over to actually making a transaction, whether it's a purchase, whether it's a sale, all the contracts in Ontario are in English. So what I will do is I will then, if need be able to translate them for my clients and put them in layman's terms. So if you have anybody who's a francophone, wants to stay francophone in the sense of speaking French for everything except for the contracts, think of me. I'm the real estate advisor with Engel and Volkers Ottawa. I service all of Ottawa. People have said, "Oh, where do you specialize in?" Well, I don't really specialize in everywhere because I have a client, for example, that I'm signing up in a couple of days here, and they are in the east end of Ottawa, but they want to move to downtown. Yeah, there you go, Sam. So I'm always, doing some business on the right side of the city, and then I move to the left side of the city. Or if I'm in the south, I'm going to the north. And because I'm not only a listing agent, I'm not only listing properties in Old Ottawa East or Old Ottawa South or downtown. I'm not only listing your property, but then I'm helping you with the purchase. So I work with buyers. Some of them are buyers first, finding a property, and then from there we decide, okay, now we have to sell your property. So let's go ahead and tackle that. I also have quite a few people on my list. I do some marketing on social media. They've reached out saying, "Hey, listen, I'm looking to make a move next year. Would you be able to provide me some information?" So the first step with that, real quick, to not overstate my 1 minute, which turned into three, is that we will look at your neighborhood, give you an idea of what it could be worth today if you were to sell it. And then what we'll do is we'll look at the neighborhood that you're looking to purchase in. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll see what the purchasing power of your dollar will be for there. From there, we then will, for example, look at getting a pod so that you can then put in a lot of stuff into storage. Maybe you put everything out of storage, and then we will virtually stage your property. Once it's empty, we can virtually stage it with tables and chairs and sofas and TVs and artwork on the wall and all that kind of stuff. So reach out to me with any kind of questions you have. No question is too small. The biggest thing I get is, oh, I didn't want to bother you, Eric. Well, guess what? I'm a realtor. You're supposed to bother me. You know, one thing I say to my clients is when we are seeing properties, it is not like TV where we see three properties. You get your little pineapple drink, we put an offer in, and then off we go. A lot of those shows, to be honest, are 100% fake and made for Hollywood, and they're not real buyers. I heard this not too long ago. I actually met people who were actors on one of these shows. So that was pretty cool. So what we do is it's a process of elimination. We eliminate properties from your search until you get down to the ones that are most important to you. And then we do our research and then we do our offers. So if you need anything from me, reach out. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Eric. Any BAMs or anything?
No BAMs. No,
I know.
not
Okay, yeah,
since the
you went
last
on
time.
holiday there. It's hard
Yeah,
to do a
exactly.
BAM when you're doing. You don't want to BAM into anything. And I read somewhere that people spend more time choosing what chocolate bar to more selection, more a chocolate bar of what they would want than houses. They'll look at three houses, but they'll look at 100 chocolate bars before they make a decision, sort of thing. It's amazing. So it's not the dollar value. So
So Tony, I'm just going to interrupt for 2 seconds because I just got a text and it's thousands of dollars vanish in seconds as thieves target Toronto businesses' point of sale terminals. So there's an article, I tried to put it into, it's on CTV News Apple app, but basically they're just talking about exactly how it's happening, and it's happening in restaurants, it's happening all over the place. Any business, there's no business that's not being targeted by these things. So
wow.
so look it
Okay.
up. CTV News just put out an article
Yeah,
this
and
morning
we were
about it.
just talking about it. So this is definitely going to be a thing. So I think I'm going to be doing that, putting my information on my Apple Pay. I've never done that. I've never thought it was a thing. I didn't want Apple to have that information, but then when you look at the security of it, and it's so easy. Like it's just it was a big deal a number of years ago, but now it's just with everything. It's I'm sure they would have AI things that would be in there that would be able to capture a lot of this stuff. But
Tony,
Eric,
the other thing to keep in mind is like on Apple Pay, I'll open mine up right now. I won't show it to the screen, but I put all of my other cards there. So the Hard Rock Cafe and Casino is opening up tonight or tomorrow, yesterday. Anyway, so I was reading an article, and it turns out that geez, who's the David Foster is going to be
oh wow,
putting on a concert. So I bought tickets for my dad and I because David
yeah,
Foster is like one of those dream things for me.
yeah.
So I went to Ticketmaster, bought my tickets. Those tickets are now in my Apple Wallet. So when I go to my Apple Wallet, my tickets are there, and all I got to do is show the front door my tickets. I have my blood donor card in there. I got my PC Optimum card in there. Aeroplan, Air Miles, Winners, CAA, Canadian Tire, Starbucks, Scene, IKEA,
Wow.
Nespresso. All of my cards are in my wallet. So all I need to do is tap on the card. It'll appear on the face of my phone, and PC Optimum if you're at Loblaws, or Shoppers, you just show the barcode to the machine and it scans it just like the barcode from your food. So you might as well put all as
Yeah,
many
yeah, yeah,
cards as you
yeah.
can in there, and then you don't need them in your wallet anymore.
That's
CAA,
it.
same thing.
That's
Anyway,
it. Yeah, good point. Good point. You have so
so
many
Eric,
wallets.
Eric, with
yeah.
the tap, two quick questions on the phone. If if you have a magnetic case, does that interfere with loading up and using the tap,
If
or
you're
do you,
using like the MagSafe one,
like for example, my phone set, right? I've got a case. I've got it detachable, so it has a magnet on the back of the
okay.
phone. So does the tap work from the front then?
It could interfere if it's an Apple phone and it's a MagSafe wallet.
Not as an RF blocker, but as in it has a magnet because it clamps onto the wallet, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, you know how you have MagSafe covers? Do you know what
Yeah,
MagSafe is? Yeah. So if you have MagSafe, which allows you to then also recharge your battery
Oh no,
wirelessly,
this one's out of
that
recharge.
works. So you'd
Okay.
have to try it. You'd have to try it and
Yeah.
see if it works or not.
It should work. It should
What
work.
about the Apple Watch?
Oh, that's the best way to do it. So then, yeah, your Apple Watch has Apple Wallet as well. So then you just you tap it, but I think you still will need to use your phone to do the facial recognition.
To open it.
But then it'll say from the phone to your Apple Watch, it'll say yes, authorize it, and then you can tap with your watch. So I don't know. I haven't used the watch in that regard, but yeah, you can. It's interchangeable for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I think you can use an audio password, and you could do something like "Hello, Chief Max."
That's old,
you
Tony.
that
That's
know
an
me.
old one. That's old, buddy.
But we all know it.
We're going back a few years.
Yeah, but we all know it. Yeah.
Can you put your Costco card in there too?
Yes.
No, your Costco card does not work, but your Costco Visa, CIBC, or Costco
Yeah,
MasterCard
Costco MasterCard will
does. You just cannot tap the Costco gas machine with your phone. You still have to tap with your Costco CIBC MasterCard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, because it needs to read somehow that you are a member, because
Ah,
it's a member card, right?
yes.
When you tap with your Visa or your MasterCard inside Apple Wallet, you're tapping with Apple.
Ah,
So
right.
it does not recognize that
That's
it's
to
a
remember.
exactly because it's
Yeah, so
Apple
they-
that you're communicating with. So Apple is not Apple cannot communicate to Costco that you are a member.
So that
That
means you got to
communication is
be really
blocked.
vigilant, making sure that the gas scanner is secure, and maybe give it a good kick or something. You know.
Like at
Oh,
Costco,
jeez.
I mean at
Don't be
Costco,
kicking
there's
them.
a,
Don't be
yeah,
kicking the pumps. Don't be
exactly.
kicking the pumps.
At Costco now, they did a test in Ottawa, and they're going to put it in all the other stores where when you show your Costco card, your picture shows up on the screen.
Well, that happens already. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
happening
Yeah.
already.
Wow.
So
It's
I just
got
put the
another
link
one
of the
that
Apple
wants to spread
News
it out.
article on CTV. I just put the link there. So if you do have Apple News, you can click on that or copy and paste it.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that later. That we were just talking about that. So it's we're talking about relevant stuff here, guys. So definitely look into it and keep yourself safe. Okay. And we're just at the top of the hour here, and let's do the quote for the day, the quote for the week there, Bernie.
Oh, Tony, you don't want to guess it? To any entrepreneur, if you want to do it now. If you don't, you're going to regret it. Catherine Cook. So that almost goes hand in hand with so your credit card, your bank card.
Yep,
Convert it,
that's
or
it.
you'll regret it.
Okay, those of you
Thanks,
that have stood by, I hope this was of value, and make sure that you stay safe out there, not only security-wise, but making sure that your financials are in a secure place and you're using these things, because we want to buy things all the time. We are consumers. We've been trained that way since cradle. To be able to buy, and so just do it safely. I guess the other thing is cash. Cash is a hard thing to replicate. Well, you can, but it's easier to get caught and go to jail. But have yourself a great weekend, everybody, and know that you matter. Okay, so until next week, have a great.